Hey gang, so it's time to install these and put them in the right place, and also to connect this, which has also been in there for a little while. Now it's time to kind of bring it all together and make our B&G system work. Hi, before we get started with the video, I wanted to show you real quick the package that I purchased to install on Reverie. I subscribe to Denfender, so I get the alerts when things go on sale, and one of the sales came out a really great deal where, similar to the one you have here on the screen, where I picked up two of the B&G Triton 2 displays, the anemometer, which is the wind indicator. On my version, I got the wireless version instead of the wire. So in the video, you're going to see I have two pucks. One puck is for the GPS, one puck is for the Bluetooth for the wireless that connects over to the wind instrument up at the top of the mast. It came with the 3-in-1 transducer. It has everything you need, the hole, the through hole, the plug, everything comes in the package. And you have the connection kit. And the connection kit, you're going to need a little bit more wire than what it comes with it. It all depends on how you're going to run your network, your NMEA 2000 network through your boat. So I wanted to show you real quick. If you go to Denfender or to B&G, you can see kind of the components, the displays, the external GPS antenna, the WS320 wind sensor, and the DataSmart multi-sensor transducer. So with that, let's jump on the video. Well, good afternoon. Jose here on Sailing Vessel Reverie. Today I have an interesting project. I'm trying to hook up the network, the NMEA network, so we can set up our GPS, our wireless puck for our wind instrument up at the top of the mast. I have a couple of gauges that I have to mount on the hull. So I want to get creative, and several people, depending on who you ask, they'll say that, well, you got to put the puck out where you can see the sky. Other people have done it where they keep it inside the cabin, and it works perfectly fine. So I'm going for a little bit of practicality and speed. Instead of trying to make a bunch of brackets with stainless and get all creative, I decided to go for a little bit cheaper, faster, maybe not as aesthetically pleasing, but still effective solution. So in order to mount, this is the base for the puck, for the B&G puck. So instead of trying to do some L-shaped brackets, I bought some very inexpensive antenna brackets, which are the perfect size, from a thread standpoint. And I can turn this 90 degrees. There we go. So basically I'm going to now mount this, which it gives me enough clearance from the bulkhead into that wall back there. And then I'm going to run the cables for the network down around the base of the mast, and then I'll hook up to the backbone that's underneath the V-berth. So I got enough length of a backbone cable that I can run down and under and then connect it to the overall network. So I got to clear some of the clutter here so I can get to that wall, but then I'm gonna get started and let's see how we do with this. So as I mentioned before, I bought B&G for my electronics. You can see right there, this is WS320. This is a Bluetooth puck, and it provides the wireless service for the wind vane or wind anemometer. I'm probably saying that word wrong. That's up at the top of the mast, and this provides the GPS. So they have an arrow, basically which way I need to point them out to point forward. So I'm gonna take them apart, basically remove the cable, insert the cable. This base is, if you can see, they have a channel where the cable will run, so when you're screwing this in, the cable will be out of the way and it won't twist when you're wrapping it up. So now eventually I could make this more aesthetically pleasing by removing the handles and just putting a bush in here and just closing it up so you don't have the handle sticking out. But right now my goal is speed over form. I don't need it to be pretty, I just need it to be functional. Tighten up the nut just a hair so I don't have to mess with it so much. Doesn't need to be ultra tight, it's just enough so you can work it. And that looks about right. Let's get our puck. Actually, let me grab the other installation kit. Alright. The challenge with having things laying around for a long time is then you have a hard time. You moved in so many times, have a hard time finding them. Okay. So if you notice the O-ring, see how it has 3 loops on each side? It lines up with the 3 loops on each side of the puck. You just slide it in like that. If you were mounting this on top of your cabin, basically you would just drill the hole and this will get set with the screws that already come with the kit. So they really take good care of you. B&G, they give you everything you need to set this up. And you gotta love the networking equipment, the NMIA stuff, because it's is basically dummy proof. Cables only fit one way. Okay, they tell you which way, how to align it with the base. And this one actually came out right on. So all I need to do is put my 2 screws in. I'm just going finger tight on all this stuff. I mean, it's all hard plastic. So now I have my 2 bases line up. So now what I'm going to do is measure and mark where I'm going to mount them. Okay, so now I have my 2 bases. I'm going to figure out, how to position them the best. But this is going to be pretty close to the center of the boat, at least where the mast is, and that's going to be close enough for what we're trying to do. I could slide this more and it would put it more in the center line, but my only concern is there's a steel rod in front of the mast that is used to provide tensioning, so I don't want it so close to that, so I'm gonna maybe go a little bit offset and put them both on this side, and I'll kind of keep them out of the way. I'll still have the functionality of the storage racks and all of that, which this is the first time I put the table down, so this is my first time looking at this thing, so we'll see. So let me get some measurements and install this up. So just to show you real quick, this is some of the other things that come in the kit. They give you the set of instructions. They include the nuts if you're going to mount it on a pipe and then tie it up to the rail. So you have a lot of options for installing. They give you the template, you know, if you're going to mount it on top of the cabin, you know, so it tells you where to drill the holes and you know, where to bring the cable and, you know, the hole for the cable to come through. So very nice. Very nice setup. I mean, it's been really easy to put together and install, so not, you know, not a complicated task. With a little bit of reading and a little bit of patience, anybody can install a system like this. So let me get measuring and see if we can find a pencil. So we're gonna get creative with that. This would have been a lot easier if I had a pencil on board, but unfortunately I don't. So I'm gonna have to do this the creative way. Okay, one down. All right. Okay, now what I'm going to do is run both of these cables. I'm going to tie them up. And basically run them behind the mast and through the hatch. There's a hole that connects the top of the bilge to the you know, this boat has a very shallow bilge area. So all I have is maybe 5-6 inches, so I'm going to just run the cable right underneath, and this is going to become the terminating end of the backbone. Alright, so I want to show you how we finish the installation for the electronics. You remember I put the pucks up, tied them up, so I'm going to walk you through what the setup looks like, so you can get an idea of how we finish up the job. So let me take you around. So remember we mounted both the pucks. This is the Bluetooth for the wind instrument up at the top of the mast. This is the GPS. We put them in as close to the center line of the boat as possible. Now, if you remember, some folks will say put them outside, some folks have it inside. I figure I start inside. If it doesn't work, I can always move them out. But so far, they're working as intended. So, very simple setup. Reverie doesn't have a lot of empty space in between walls. So I just brought it in, hit the wiring behind the mast all the way down. I have my T connection and my terminal. I brought the cable underneath the hatch for the sole here for the bilge, and that runs underneath the mast and through a hole that brings it into this compartment. So this is the wire right here, and then I fed it through another hole that's behind the sump pump for the shower, and it's gonna get a little noisy here for a second. But so cable comes underneath the V-berth, and then we connect it with a T to the transducer, which you see down there. And then we put the T secured it underneath the V-berth just to keep it high in case we ever get any water inside the bilge. All right, so you can see my cable right there running up outside into the outside bulkhead. From there it comes in on the inside of this wall and up. And right behind here, there were the 2 holes on the back side of the instruments. Over here in the electric panel, we fed the wire to here. That's our terminal. And we have a T fitting there, and we have some extra wire, so if we need to add things later, we need to rerun or move things around, we have extra wire to do that with. Now on the outside, that's my beautiful wife helping me today with the electric work. And we mounted now our B&G right here on the bulkhead. There we go. Get her on both sides to pull it out. There we go. And then we have our instruments. Now I had to reuse the holes from the old data watch, which were rounded. So I had to cut them square, and because round holes are a lot easier to line up. But now when you go from round to square, to make everything fit without having to do repairs or do more holes, I have to offset a little bit. But it's fine. Everything looks great from the helm. And we have our navigation and wind indicator, temperature, direction, and depth. Now all visible comfortably from the cockpit. All right, so that wraps up the installation of the electronics. Next, Carmen and I are gonna finish running the electric wiring for the lights, so we can get ready so we can run at night and get the rest of the panel put together and secure. So I'll show you that on the next chapter. So catch you guys later.